Okay, we're just about finished putting this seat section together here. So one important thing that I want you to do now is I want you to take a business card and just slide it under here on both sides, and make sure that these rails are down flat against the round rails down below. And then you may also want to look at it this way and make sure that these two line up with each other. Make sure one isn't like cockeyed to the other before we drill this hole. And then leave these brackets on, snug these up, make sure these are good and snug. And then what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and mask off the this area right here. You don't want to get the metal chips on that area right there. And then put just a paper towel there. And then let's go ahead and just drill this out. Now I've already drilled this. Oh, and this is the drill bit that we include in the kit. It's a 1/4 inch drill bit. So go ahead and just drill that out until it goes all the way through. Okay, do that to both sides, and then take the bolt and the nut and slide it through there. You don't need to tighten, just finger tighten them right now because we're going to use this later to hold the side panels on. So go ahead and do that on both sides, and then we'll continue on. Next, let's go ahead and tie this fluid reservoir to the bike here using this strap that hangs down from the round rod back there. This is the little 1/4 bolt here and the nut on the back. Then go ahead and snug the big bolt on the rail in the back there too. And then you'll notice the wire that is hanging down here. It's actually behind this strap here. So go ahead and make sure that's behind there. It'll tuck in a little nicer. And then before you, don't forget to just double check, make sure that nut right there is snugged up too, because that kind of holds that whole thing in there. Next, let's go ahead and tighten the two bolts down in below here. Now I'm going to just show you this unpainted pan again here so you can see it. It's the two bolts that go down in the front here. These two. Now don't get too carried away. Just snug those up. But you don't need to get too carried away because those are pretty small. So snug those up and then we'll continue on. Okay, before we tighten these screws down in the bottom of the battery box there, let's go ahead and put the little bracket on here. And this is what it looks like. Has a tape around it and the screw, the black screw. So this screw and the nut go on the inside on the bottom here, and then the black screw goes on the top. I'm going to pan in on that, and then use just a little bit of Loctite on this black screw as you put that in. You don't need to get too carried away with the torque on that either, but put a little Loctite on there. That'll guarantee it won't ever come off. I'm going to pan in on that, and then you'll notice that I run the wire on the. You'll notice I run the wire on the inside on this module. On this module here, run that on the inside of the tubing here because we're going to put that in this area here. So go ahead and snug these up, and then we'll show you how to tighten the battery box. Okay, before you snug these up, just make sure that this coolant reservoir, you notice how it moves back and forth because the screws are slotted down in there. Just make sure that's pushed in all the way there as you tighten the screws up in there. And then don't forget to snug this one a little bit more too, and then you should be good because you want that as far in as we can get it. I forgot to mention this, but we can go ahead and remove these brackets now. These are just alignment brackets, so go ahead and take those off and then just snug those up. Don't get too carried away again, they're just small. Then you won't need these screws anymore, but keep them as spares for back here. Okay, now next thing we want to do is mount the rectifier and the ignition module. Okay, now this is the view of this plate. That's the view of this plate. I'll just show it outside the bike. That way it's a little easier for you to follow. Okay, this is the rectifier, and then it has the cables coming out this side. And then this is the module. And it just slides over these two pins. And then the connectors are down this direction. And then make sure when you screw this the rectifier to the plate, make sure you put just a little bit of Loctite on these screws. Then I'm going to show you this mounted in the bike. Okay, I'm going to show you this side now after all this stuff is installed. This is the wire that goes to the module. There's that little bracket that we put in earlier. Okay, and the coolant tank is flush this side as this way as we can get it. I'm going to pan in on the okay, there's the module there with the connectors coming out the bottom. And then there's the rectifier screwed in place. Then the wire from the rectifier goes through here and up out the back, and I'm going to pan around this and show you the back side too, so hold on 1 minute. Okay, this is the right side of the bike. You'll notice all the wires are inside the frame here, and they're going behind this and out the back. I'll show you a back view of that. Okay, and there you have it. All the wires are coming out through the back here, and then we'll eventually tie these up and out of the way. So, looks like we're finished with that part of the installation. Let's move on to the next.